Sorting materials into groups. In this chapter, we'll learn about a variety of objects which are present around us and number of ways into which we can group them. We'll also learn about factors which are responsible for choosing material for an object. There is a vast variety of objects around us. These objects can be grouped on the basis of shapes, colors, and uses. For example, if we look around and identify objects which are round or nearly round in shape, then our list may include objects like rubber ball, football, glass marble, clock, oranges, apples, earthen pitcher, etc. If we wish to make a group of objects that are made of plastics, then buckets, lunch boxes, toys, water containers, pipes, sanitizers, and many such objects may find a place in this group. So we can say that there are a number of ways to group objects. All objects around us are made of one or more materials. These materials may be cotton, glass, wood, plastic, metal like copper, iron, gold, paper, mud, or soil. In this activity, let us collect as many objects as possible from home, classroom, or outside the school. Let us now separate all objects from this collection that are made from paper or wood. This way, we have divided all objects into two groups. One group has the objects that are made from paper or wood. This group includes objects like pencil, notebook, bat, matchbox, etc. While the other group has the objects that are not made of paper or wood. This group includes objects like chalk, eraser, sharpener, nail, etc. In this activity, let us list some common materials and everyday objects that are mainly made of these materials. We find that objects around us are made of different materials. At times, an object is made of a single material. An object could also be made of many materials. And then again, one material could be used for making many different objects. Hence, a wide variety of objects around us can be grouped on the basis of their color, shape, size, the materials they are made up of, or if they are edible or not. Have you ever wondered why a tumbler is not made with a piece of cloth? We generally use a tumbler to keep a liquid. Therefore, would it not be silly if we were to make a tumbler out of cloth? What we need for a tumbler is glass, plastic, metal, or other such material that will hold water. Similarly, it would not be wise to use paper-like material for cooking vessels. We see then that we choose a material to make an object depending on its properties and the purpose for which the object is to be used. Different types of materials have different properties. They differ from one another in appearance, hardness, solubility, flotation, and transparency. Let us now learn about each property one by one. Materials usually look different from each other. Materials that have luster are usually metals. Iron, copper, aluminium, and gold are examples of metals. Some metals often lose their shine and appear dull because of the action of air and moisture on them. In this activity, let us collect small pieces of different materials like paper, cardboard, wood, copper wire, aluminium sheet, and chalk. When we rub them with sandpaper, we observe that these objects could be divided into two groups. One group contains objects which do not shine. For example, paper, cardboard, chalk, and wood. The other group contains objects which shine, like aluminium sheet and copper wire. They react with atmospheric air and moisture to form oxides and become dull. So they shine when we rub sandpaper on them. When we press different materials with our hands, some of them may be hard to compress, while others can be easily compressed. Similarly, we can easily scratch some materials with a metal key or a needle, while some cannot be scratched so easily. Materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called soft, while some other materials which are difficult to compress are called hard. For example, cotton or sponge are soft, while iron and diamond are hard. In this activity, let us collect small amount of sugar, salt, chalk powder, honey and flour in different glasses. On adding water, we find that sugar and salt dissolve completely in water, whereas chalk powder, honey, flour do not dissolve completely in water even after stirring them continuously for a long time. Substances like sugar, oxygen, salt dissolve or disappear completely in water, so they are called as soluble in water. On the other hand, substances like sand, oil do not dissolve or disappear in water, so they are called as insoluble in water. So we can say that water plays an important role in the functioning of our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Let us take samples of lime juice and mustard oil in two different tumblers. On adding water, we observe that lime juice mixes well with water, whereas mustard oil does not mix with water and remains floated on the surface of the water. So, materials that do not mix with water either float to the surface of the water or may have sunk to the bottom of the tumbler. Objects like stone, coin, metal key will sink in water, whereas objects like dried leaves, paper boards, empty water bottle, balloon, pin, shuttlecock will float on the surface of the water. Take a sheet of paper and look through it towards a lighted bulb. we will observe that the bulb on the other side of the paper is not clearly visible. Now put 2 to 3 drops of some oil and spread it on the sheet of paper. If we look again towards the lighted bulb through that portion of the paper on which the oil has been spread, we will observe that the bulb is more clearly visible than before. Let us perform another experiment. If we cover the glass of a torch with our palm at a dark place and switch on the torch, we will observe that the other side of the palm turns red. On the basis of previous experiments, we can divide the materials into 3 categories: paper with an oily patch, frosted glass are translucent materials because we can see through them but not clearly. Wood, cardboard, metals are opaque materials because we cannot see through them. Glass, clear water, air are transparent materials because we can see through them clearly. Why do we need to group materials? In everyday life, we often group materials for our convenience. At home, we usually store things in such a manner that similar objects are placed together. Such an arrangement helps us to locate them easily. Similarly, a grocer usually keeps all types of biscuits at one corner of his shop, all soaps at another, while grains and pulses are stored at some other place. There is another reason why we find such grouping useful. Dividing materials in groups make it convenient to study their properties and also observe any pattern in these properties.